All right, ladies and gentlemen, what we have here is a situation where a certain watch company always wants to have a premium version, a premium incarnation. So you have Toyota, and they have the Lexus line. Nissan has the Infinity line. Seiko has the Grand Seiko line. Now, has Citizen ever tried to join the party? It appears they have. I don't know how successful they've been, but they do have a signature line. Now, case in point, we have here a watch that I had about 4 years ago, 2016. I saw some videos of it. And it's a discontinued watch. If you go on the Citizen website, you'll see this is discontinued. This is the Citizen Grand Touring signature line. It's NB007-57E, for those of you who want the model number. And it's discontinued. I don't know how successful their signature line is. I know it doesn't have the cachet of Grand Seiko. And it's a shame, really. Look at that. Look at that case back. You can see the back of it there. You can see the automatic movement, which we'll talk about in a second. So this is a discontinued model. About a week ago, I was looking for it just on a whim, and I didn't think I could buy it. I pretty much said to myself, that ship has sailed, and you're not going to get this anymore. People who sell them usually want $1,000 for them. In fact, Amazon is selling it for about $1,000 right now, and it is a discontinued model. However, I saw a brand new one on eBay for $499. I said, you know what? I remember the build quality was so amazing on it. I'm going to try it again. At that price, I'm going to try it again. And so I have it here. It's a 24 joule 90-12 movement with a 42-hour reserve. Now, Citizen, to make their signature line, they made the 90-12 exclusive to their signature line. And they noticed that their Echo drives didn't have the appeal that automatics did, so they wanted to go down an automatic line. And it's really a shame. I don't think these really, well, they obviously, Citizen's never developed the reputation of having the equivalent of a Grand Seiko. And that's too bad, because this watch has a lot of build quality to it, and I'll explain that in a second. This watch does have a certain Panerai vibe, but it's its own watch too. I mean, if you look at those lume markings, it's clearly its own watch. I would call it kind of a unicorn watch. Excuse me, sporty, dressy, I'm not sure. It doesn't have a screw down crown. They're calling it a Grand Touring, and they're calling it a sport. I don't know. I don't know if I could call it a sport. Now, just to let you guys know, this did not arrive to me in the original box. The original box is this big, giant blue box with velvet cushions. It looks like it's, you know, a jewel being delivered to the king. This arrived, believe it or not, in an Echo Drive box. So it was wrapped in mummies. It had the tags, and it did arrive in perfectly brand new mint condition. And just to let you guys know, it's 44 millimeters, and so it does have quite a wrist presence. And you know what I'm going to call this? I'm going to call this the Dome Sapphire King Kong. It's somewhat of a King Kong of a watch. It's somewhat of a King Kong of a watch. Let's see if I can show you that dome. That dome is pretty ridiculous. You can see the dome effect as it plays like it's pretty much a Dome Sapphire. Let me give you some likes. Well, I do love the Dome Sapphire. I have a thing for Dome Sapphire. You can just see they didn't mess around with the dome. They didn't mess around with it. They took the dome very seriously. Someone at Citizen said, no, not enough dome. More dome. More dome. There's not enough dome on that bad boy. It's really domed in a dramatic way. It's really domed in the most dramatic way. Just see if you can see that there. Appreciate the dome effect on it. So the other thing is the wrist presence is excellent. The styling, I would say it's original, even though some people are calling it Panerai-like. It's its own styling at the same time because of the dial. The build quality, let me tell you about the build quality. I've never handled the Grand Seiko, so I can't speak to that. I remember a viewer about 5 years ago, he said he had an Omega Seamaster. He said this was right there. He said it was the same thing. And I have to tell you, I've handled a lot of Citizens up to $1,200 price point. This is the most high-end I've ever felt. If this is the same build quality as a Grand Seiko or an Omega, I'm not surprised. It has a real luxury feel. There's nothing cheap about this watch. There's absolutely nothing cheap about it. If you see one brand new for 500 bucks like I did, it's worth a try if you're okay with a watch with that much dome sapphire and that much size, that much wrist presence. The other thing I like about it, some of you guys talk about how certain watches you just stare at them all day. You can't stop staring at them. I call that the rabbit hole effect. You go down the rabbit hole, and this watch definitely has that quality. This watch will hypnotize you. There's a depth, there's a 3D effect, there is a magnification effect with a dome sapphire on those lume markers. I mean, you're not going to see a lot of people wearing a watch like this. And probably galvanizing. Some of you are going to comment that you can't stand it. And that's fine. Very high-end watch, rabbit hole effect. Some dislikes. No screw down crown. I prefer a screw down crown. That's something that that means a lot to me. And this has a lot of luxury elements to it. So you're dealing with soft, polished surfaces, and I've always been a little uncomfortable with those because I just worry about scratches with some of those soft, polished surfaces. The other thing is the lume. If you're trapped in a cave, don't expect this lume to get you out of the cave. This is more of a dressy daytime watch. This is not going to be Virgil's torch getting you out of the Dantean cave inferno. No way. But man, that dome sapphire is quite something. So I thought some of you might be interested who hadn't seen this, which I hadn't shown on my video since 2016. It's 2020 now. Reviewers of this watch are reporting 2 to 12 seconds accuracy for every 24 hours. That's not bad at all. I'm not having any problems with it. Again, it's a 42-hour reserve. I wish Citizen would really take off with their signature line, because they're the type of company, they could probably come up with a $1,000 watch that has the build quality of a $4,000, $5,000 watch and pull it off, and put a high-end automatic movement in there. But I don't think it took off. They don't have a legendary status like Grand Seiko. It's a shame. I know they have an AQ series. They're 38mm automatic watches that are about $3,000. They're just beautiful. Man, they definitely have the build quality I like. 38 would be too small for me. I would rather like a 43. For me, I have an 8-inch wrist. All right, ladies and gentlemen, tell me what you think of this Citizen Grand Touring signature line. Would you like to see Citizen rival Grand Seiko and be more successful in this niche? All right, ladies and gentlemen, until next time, I'm out.